Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ursuline College for today's matchup between the Clark State Eagles and your Bryant and Stratton Bobcats. Bryant and Stratton College and the NJCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and fans. We request your cooperation in supporting the student athletes and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We appreciate your cooperation in creating a safe and positive game environment. Respect is the name of the game. Today's matchup will be officiated by George Jackson, Victor Jackson, and Tony Santiago. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country with freedoms like no other. Let's please rise, remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. And now, let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Clark State Eagles. At guard, number 3, Giovanni Roberts. At forward, number 4, Miles Burney. At guard, number 10, Devin Alston. At guard, number 12, Mauricio Diaz. And at forward, number 44, Dale Bush. The Eagles are coached by Anthony Clemens and assistant coaches Quentin Alstor, Alyssa Clemens, and Les Smith. And now, the starting lineup for your Bryant and Stratton Bobcats. At guard, number 0, Tony Roper. At guard, number 1, Jalen Barnes. At guard, number 22, Jalen Terrell. At guard, number 23, Larry Reynolds. And at guard, number 55, Perry Fulham. The Bobcats are coached by Dwayne Morrow with assistant coaches Corey Miller and Kyle Jefferson. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for some Bobcat basketball?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's matchup between your Bryant and Stratton Bobcats and the Eagles of Clark State. Thank you to the voice of the Bobcats, Caleb Swisher, on the microphone today at Sister Diana Stano Arena. Calling the game for you tonight will be myself, Ryan Bliss, Bryant and Stratton, SID. If you know anybody else trying to watch the ball game, feel free to share the link. If you like what we're doing tonight, give us a like on the video. Bobcats 1-0 currently in conference, coming off their first win in conference earlier this week against LCC. Clark State comes up with the tip on the floor for Clark State. Number 3, Giovanni Roberts. 4, Miles Burney. That's Bernie with the shot right there. He'll go to the line to shoot two. Looks like that's going to be a foul on Larry Reynolds for the Bobcats. Number 10, Devin Alston. Number 12, Mauricio Diaz. And number 44, Dale Bush out there for the Eagles. For the Bobcats, we got the lineup we've seen most consistently so far this season. Number 0, Tariq Roper. Number 1, Jalen Barnes. Number 22, Jalen Terrell. Number 23, Larry Reynolds. And number 55, Perry Fulham. Clark State gets on the board first. Miles Burney knocks down both free throws. Here come the Bobcats. Perry Fulham running the point. He'll be guarded by number 12, Mauricio Diaz. Tosses it to Roper over here on the near side wing. Roper waiting for some movement on the offense. Gets it back to Fuller up top. Fuller dribbles and drives on Diaz. Stops, pops. Back out to Roper. Roper hands to Terrell. Terrell turns around and puts it in for two. Good dish there by Roper. He didn't quite have the size to get it up to the rim, so he hands it to his buddy Terrell, who's a little taller, able to bang his way inside and get the basket. Three-point basket by number 3, Giovanni Roberts, gives the Eagles the lead right back. They lead 5-2 here with 19 left to play in the ball game. Bobcats in the white with blue trim, their home unis. Clark State in the navy with gold. That's Perry Fulham back out to Jalen Barnes. Barnes tries to match the three-pointer from Giovanni Roberts. Can't do it. Rebound by number 10, Devin Alston. Alston brings it the other way for the Clark State Eagles. Here's Diaz with it on the wing, guarded by Perry Fulham. Sends it across to Roberts on the other wing. Roberts back out to Bernie. Bernie inside to number 10, Devin Alston. Alston working on Barnes. Jalen Terrell gets a hand on it, gets it back to Barnes. Barnes loses the handle, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll go back to Clark State. Good bit of defense there by Jalen Terrell. Barnes was trying to start that fast break the Bobcats are so fond of. Grab it and go. Just ran out of room down there on the sideline. The inbound sent to Diaz. Diaz guarded by Fulham. Sends it over to Bernie. That's Larry Reynolds on top of him. Larry Reynolds back for this ball game. Had to miss the LC game. 44 Bush with the shot. It's a three-pointer. That's good. So Eagles now up 8-2 over the Bobcats. Eagles don't pressure in the backcourt. Perry Fulham able to walk the ball up. Bobcats set up an offense. Fulham still dribbling around. He's on Diaz. Pops from the elbow. Ball rolls off the rim. No good. Rebounded by Bernie. Bernie gets it to Diaz. Diaz coming the other way. That's Giovanni Roberts. Roberts puts up a layup. No good. Grabbed by Larry Reynolds coming the other way quickly. He's got Fulham with him. Reynolds makes a move. Puts it up right hand. Can't get it to go. Grabs his own board. Still can't get it to go. Can't get it cleaned up this time. Bernie grabs it. Clark State going the other way. Skip pass down to Roberts. Roberts working on Roper, and that's a charging foul. Tariq Roper was set. Good bit of defense there by the Bobcat guard to get back and get the feet planted. Roberts ran right over him.
Number 3, Giovanni Roberts.
Bobcats have the ball. Perry Fulham brings the ball up, swings it out to Jalen Barnes on the wing, who drives and lays it in with a good move on the left hand for a two-point basket. Clark State coming the other way. Bernie here, near side wing, guarded by Larry Reynolds. Skips pass. Good move there by Dale Bush. Got Larry Reynolds up in the air, went right around him, laid it in for two. Tariq Roper coming quickly the other way for the Bobcats. He'll get it back to Barnes. Ball's tipped, but Barnes able to hold on to it. Bernie tried to jump the passing lane, got a hand on it, but Barnes able to run it back down. Runs off a pick to Terrell. Terrell rolls, nothing doing. Gets it to Perry Fulham on the far side wing. Fulham comes through the middle, hits Larry Reynolds. Larry Reynolds from outside. In and out, no good. Rebounded by Roberts. Here comes the Clark State Eagles the other way. Reynolds cuts off the passing lane and picks it off. There's Bobcats on the move. Roper from the corner. Puts it up with the right hand. Two-point basket. Subs coming in for the Eagles.
Number 24, Sabian Doolittle, and number 33, Wendell Hughes.
We got Sabian Doolittle and Wendell Hughes coming in for the Eagles. Bobcats stick with the same lineup, no changes yet. Clark State working through the offense. That's Doolittle. Goes down the lane, puts it up, right hand. Can't get it to drop, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Brian Stratton foul, number 55, Perry Fulham. Wendell Hughes is line shooting 2 for the Eagles.
Hughes at the line now, shooting 2. First one's up and good. Bobcats haven't made it to the foul line yet tonight, but that's always a good key for them. They are phenomenal free throw shooters so far early in this season, especially all 3 of the guards, Fulham, Roper, and Barnes, all shooting right around 90% from the free throw stripe. The Bobcats can get the Eagles in foul trouble. They scored 22 points at the foul line against LC earlier this week. Barnes with a good pull-up jumper for 2. 15 and a half left to play in this one. Bobcats trailing the Eagles 12-8. That's Devin Alston at the top of the key. Dishes to Bush, but he can't handle it. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll go over to the Bobcats. Perry Fulham brings it up, near side wing, dribbles back towards the middle, hits Jalen Barnes. Barnes with a good spin move, pulls up, can't get it to go. That's going to be a foul on number 3, Giovanni Roberts. He was on the back of Larry Reynolds going for that rebound.
Clark State foul number 3, Giovanni Roberts.
Similar type of build to both of these teams. Not a whole lot of height. Guys like to get up and down the floor. Lots of speed on the court right now, lots of athleticism. Larry Reynolds pulls up off the inbound, can't get it to drop. Jalen Terrell's on the rebound. Terrell from the corner, gets it back out to Roper up top. Roper's guarded by 11, Mark Wise. Wants a pick, doesn't get it. Skip pass to Barnes on the other wing. Barnes pulls up from 3, got it! Barnes makes it a 1-point game. Perry Fulham all over number 33, Wendell Hughes in the backcourt. This is 24, Sabian Doolittle. Sends it off to Bush. Bush has passes the ball. It gets through 33, Wendell Hughes. Perry Fulham picks it up, lays it in for 2. That'll give the Bobcats the lead. 13-12 here, 14 and a half left to play. 33, Hughes with the ball now, guarded by Fulham. Sends it to 24, Doolittle. That's Terrell on him, out on the wing. Back up to 11, Mark Wise. Roper's all over him. Back up to Bush. Bush pulls up for 3. No good. Alston grabs it, throws it back in. Ball goes off of a Bobcat, then off of Mark Wise out of bounds. The Bobcats will get the ball.
Number 11, Ethan Sokolowski.
Here comes Ethan Sokolowski. He's coming in for Jalen Terrell. Sokolowski provided quite the spark for the Bobcats off the bench against LC. The kid's got a motor that runs full go all the time. He's always on the floor, it seems like. Here's Reynolds from the wing, sends it to Sokolowski. Sokolowski from the corner, no good. Ball's rebounded by number 24, Sabian Doolittle. Up to Devin Alston. Alston gets it back to Hughes on the wing, guarded by Roper. Here's Wise. Wise working on Reynolds. Dishes to Doolittle under the basket, lays it in for 2.
Basket by Sabian Doolittle.
Fulham sets up the offense. Jalen Barnes for 3 from the top. Got it! Barnes with his second three-pointer here early in the first half. Bobcats lead 16-14. Here's Bush bringing it up near side wing. Perry Fulham's on him. Mark Wise has the ball now. A little confusion on the D. Doolittle pulls up from 3. Got it. Drops it right in there.
3-point basket, Sabian Doolittle.
Bobcats on the move. Perry Fulham flying down the lane. Lays it up with the right hand, and he's got it to go. Bobcats adding some pressure here in the backcourt. Larry Reynolds on Mark Wise. Roper helps, gets a poke, but Mark Wise able to grab it again. Ball goes out of bounds off Wise. Ethan Sokolowski in there, making the shot tough. Bobcats will have the ball.
Number 4, Miles Burney, and number 12, Mauricio Diaz.
Burney and Diaz return for the Eagles. Bobcats working on offense. This is Roper, Wise on him, out on the far side wing. Calls for a pick. Sokolowski sets it, rolls. Ball goes back to Fulham up top. Back down to Sokolowski in the corner. Here's Roper. Fulham pulls up. Shot's no good. Rebound by 10 Alston. Clark State coming quickly the other way. Doolittle down to Diaz in the corner. Diaz pulls up for three. Another good three-pointer from the Clark State Eagles. Bobcats are going to have to close in the defense outside the arc. Eagles are killing them from behind the three-point line right now. Ball's turned over. Here comes Bernie. Larry Reynolds trying to supply the pressure. Diaz with Barnes on him, sends it down into the block. That's number 10. Alston right on top of Fulham. A little bit of a size mismatch there. We'll see if the Eagles try to exploit that more here later in this ball game. Barnes with the ball up top, guarded by Alston. Sends it to Roper out on the far side wing, right back to Barnes. Barnes to Reynolds. Reynolds pulls up for three. No good. Missed it long. Bernie with the board, coming back the other way. Barnes is right on top of him. Sends it back to Doolittle up the middle to get it across the timeline. Here's Diaz from the wing. Diaz pulls up for three, and they got another one. Good Lord, these boys can shoot. Barnes had a hand right in his face. It didn't matter. Diaz knocked it down right there. Bobcats working on the other side. Perry Fulham wants to pull up from three, and he's got one. Bobcats not bad shooters themselves. Fulham, Roper, Reynolds, Barnes, and Sokolowski all willing to pull up from three. Here's Diaz with Roper right on top of him. Back out to Wise. Wise guarded by Reynolds. Reynolds pick his pocket. Reynolds on the breakaway going the other way. He pulls up and lays it in soft with the right hand. Diaz got Roper all over him, on him like Velcro. Back out to Wise. Here comes Barnes with the help. Send it out to that's Bernie. Bernie able to spin down the baseline and lay it in there. Bobcats trailing 27-23. 10 minutes left to go in this half. Barnes brings it up for the Cats. Sends it to Fulham here near side. Back to Barnes far side. Back to Fulham. Eagles have dropped into a 2-3 zone now, trying to make the Bobcats shoot their way out of it. Down to Sokolowski. Sokolowski for three. In and out, no good. Rebounded by Doolittle. Well, Doolittle and Wise. Wise ends up with it. Back to Alston. Alston working on Barnes. Barnes trying to stay in front of him. Alston spins, but Barnes gets a hand on it. Knocks it up in the air. Wise able to come down with it. We got to travel. Thought they had to call something there. Wise took about 4 steps. It was either a jump ball or a travel. Barnes didn't quite have enough of it for the jump, but Wise walked with it. Got some changes for the Bobcats. Jalen Terrell enters back into the game. Carlos Castro's coming back in. Clark State wants to take a 30-second timeout. (27-23) Eagles leading the Bobcats so far here tonight. Clark State, a ridiculous 83% from behind the arc right now. If they continue to shoot like that Bobcats are going to have some trouble defensively. Bobcats 3 of 10 from behind the arc, 30%. That's about more. That's about where they usually are, 30 to 40% from behind the arc. Clark State 4 of 4 at the free throw line. Bobcats haven't had a shot yet to shoot any free throws. Bobcats being out rebounded right now, 8 to 4. If you'd like to follow along with the live stats, you can do that as well. Just go to our website, ohio.bscbobcats.com. Go to the men's basketball schedule and click on live stats, and you can follow along with what I'm seeing here. Our live stats guy, Sal Gutierrez, does a fantastic job keeping everybody up to date on what's going on the floor. Here's Castro, far wing. Back out to Barnes. Barnes to Roper here near side. Eagles still working in the 2-3. We saw LC run this effectively on Wednesday. Barnes step back three. Got it! Another one! Barnes with his 3rd three-pointer here in this half. That kid can shoot. We saw him knock down 3 of them against LC. He's already got 3 here tonight. Bush brings the ball up, gets it to Bernie over here on the near side. Bernie guarded by Sokolowski. Sokolowski's all over him. Ball's down to the block. Rebounded by the Bobcats. Here comes Barnes quickly the other way. Goes hard to the basket. They call a jump ball instead of a foul. I guess Bernie had enough of the ball. It didn't matter that he had Barnes' head wrapped up in his armpit. Bobcats retain possession. Carlos Castro with the inbound. Sokolowski cuts down the lane. They get it to Terrell in the corner. Terrell sends it back to Barnes, far side wing. Barnes shoots it from deep and hits it. Keep feeding that kid. He's got 4 threes already here in the first half. That's 22, Brandon Zimmerman, guarded by Jalen Terrell up top. Sends it into 10, Devin Alston. Alston pulls up from the elbow, shot's no good, rebound by Sokolowski. Sokolowski wants to run, here he comes, coming quick the other way. He gets ran over by number 4, Miles Burney, and that'll be the second foul here in the second team foul on the Eagles.
4, Miles Burney.
Castro will inbound. Gets it to Sokolowski, cutting for an easy 2. Good backdoor cut there by Sokolowski to get an easy basket. Ball's inbounded, Bobcats apply some pressure. Roper all over Diaz, Jalen Terrell taking away Zimmerman. Ball's across the timeline to Dale Bush. Here's a dunk by Miles Burney. Good bit of offense there by the Eagles to get Burney wide open on the block. Bobcats lead 31-29. 7:30 left to play. Roper with the ball, standing right around the timeline. Guarded by Zimmerman. They've gone back. The Eagles have gone back to a man-to-man defense here. Back to Barnes. Barnes, good cut, step back. Burney got a piece of it. Sokolowski unable to put in the reverse layup. Carlos Castro tried to follow but couldn't get it as well. Here's Diaz right at the timeline, picked up by Roper. Down to Alston. Alston back to Zimmerman, right back to Alston. Here's Diaz at the top, guarded by Roper. Doubled by Castro. Bush thinks about it, pulls it back down, goes to the basket, lays it in for 2. Ball's quickly moved up the court to Roper. Roper back to Barnes. Barnes thinks about stepping into it, sends it to Castro in the corner. Castro for 3, rattles around, no good. Jalen Terrell tried to tap it in. There was a foul called, not sure if it was on Terrell or on 4, Burney.
Clark State foul number 4, Miles Burney.
It's going to go against Burney, so that'll be the 4th foul for the Eagles now. Still not a shooting foul. The Bobcats yet to make it to the free throw line. Perry Fulton and Larry Reynolds check back in. Castro and Jalen Barnes will take a seat. I'm sorry, Terrell and Jalen Barnes will take a seat. .33 Wendell Hughes checks back in for the Eagles. Fulham inbounds. Finds Reynolds coming down the lane. Reynolds lays it up right hand, no good. Grabs his own board. Working hard on the block, able to fight it up for 2 more. Hughes with the ball, unguarded. Roper will grab him at the timeline. Sends it to Zimmerman on the far wing, guarded by Sokolowski. Zimmerman finds Bush top. Bush, one dribble, picks it up. Larry Reynolds all over him, sends it back to Diaz. Diaz for 3. Hits front iron, rattles around, falls in, shoot or roll.
Mauricio Diaz.
Give Diaz his 3rd three-pointer of the game. Sokolowski cherry picking on the other end. Up and in. Good look right there from, I believe that was Tariq Roper. Found him sitting under the basket all by himself for an easy 2. Bobcats up 35-34, 6 left. Here's Hughes setting up the offense for the Eagles, guarded by Roper. Works down the lane. Backs Roper down. Finds Bush cutting down the lane. Shots up, no good. Rebounded by Zimmerman. Zimmerman working on Reynolds. Able to get around Reynolds, laid in with the right hand. Here come the Bobcats. Roper's got nobody in front of him. Pulls it back. Wendell's able to catch back up. Wendell Hughes. Eagles still working with the man defense. Castro on the far side. Grab it by Alston. Goes baseline, finds Roper up top. Roper back to Fulham. Fulham cuts down the lane, lays it up, soft left hand, floater, good. Good move there, Perry Fulham. Here comes Hughes bringing the ball up slowly for the Eagles, guarded by Tariq Roper. Hughes throws a lob pass, no good. Grabbed by Fulham. Fulham coming quickly the other way. Got nobody in front of him. Alston tries to set him up. Fulham lays it up again with the left hand. Fulham's got 4 quick ones here in the last 15 seconds. Zimmerman gets it across the timeline. Sokolowski's right on him. Jalen Barnes set the check back in. Got a quick break. Diaz up top, guarded by Fulham. Got to stay all over that kid. He's got 3 3-pointers already. Puts up a floater, no good. Zimmerman grabs it, goes into the body of Sokolowski. Tries again, no good. Grabbed by Alston. Alston be able to put it up and back in for the Eagles. Bobcats got to get on the boards. Too many second chance points here for the Eagles here in the first half. Under 5 minutes to go. Ball's with Castro up top, setting up the offense. Sends it to Fulham, far side. Fulham back to Roper. Roper back to Castro here near side. Castro working on Alston. Larry Reynolds thought about it, pulled it back down, cuts the lane. Goes hard, puts it up right hand, can't get it to drop. Sokolowski tips it a couple times, no good. Ball grabbed by Diaz. Hands it off to Hughes. Hughes coming the other way. Goes into the body of Larry Reynolds.
Brian Stratton, foul number 23, Larry Reynolds.
Fouls on Reynolds. I believe that's
and
his
checking in
first.
for the Bobcats is number 1, Jalen Barnes, and also checking in for Clark State, number 24, Sabian Doolittle.
Yeah, Reynolds first. Barnes checks back in with a game-high 16 points already here. He led the Bobcats on Wednesday with 23. Zimmerman guarded by Castro. Zimmerman with a carry. Turns the ball back over to the Bobcats. Anthony Cook Jr. is going to check in for the Cats. Castro will take a seat. Cook with a career-high 12 points off the bench for the Bobcats against LC. Scored them all in the last 10 minutes of play against the Commodores on Wednesday. Barnes, near side, thought about it. He was pretty deep, but kid's feeling it right now. Sokolowski at the free throw line. Sokolowski out to Roper. Roper from the elbow. From the wing. No good. Ball's tipped around, grabbed by Bush. Lob pass all the way down to Wendell Hughes. It goes out of bounds. Jalen Barnes was able to get a hand in there. Turned himself into a defensive back and just able to break up the pass. Hughes can't handle it. It goes out of bounds back over to the Bobcats. So 2 turnovers in a row from the Eagles, giving the Bobcats a chance here to extend this 1-point lead. Sokolowski from the corner. Pulls up from the elbow. Can't get it to drop. Anthony Cook Jr. flies in for the rebound. Tries to lay it in with the left hand. Draws a foul. He's going to go to the line. Shoot the first 2 free throws for the Bobcats. Good rebound there by Cook. When that ball went up, he was out here around the 3-point line. Went flying in and grabbed it. Just wanted it more than everybody else. Able to grab it and fight through some arms to get to the free throw line. Knocks down the first one. Bobcats once again leaving the rebounding positions open as Cook knocks down the pair. Hughes guarded tightly by Barnes. Gets it back out to Bush. Bush sends it to Zimmerman here near side. Sokolowski all over him. Zimmerman tries to spin out of it, but Sokolowski still got him. Zimmerman still dribbling. Drives it inside. That'll be a push on Sokolowski.
Bobcat foul number 11, Ethan Sokolowski.
A little too aggressive with the defense with Sokolowski. He'll pick up the foul. That's his first. Hughes with the ball, working on Reynolds. Gets his way back into the paint, pulls up, gets it to drop.
Basket by Wendell Hughes.
Bobcats coming quickly the other way. Barnes right into the body of Hughes. Sokolowski from the corner, back out to Cook. Cook to Roper. Roper back to Sokolowski in the corner. Sokolowski will pull up. No good. Rebound Diaz. Here come the Eagles back to Bush. Cook tried to jump the lane, not able to grab it. Back out to Hughes in the corner. Hughes working on Reynolds. Cuts down baseline, gives it back to Zimmerman. Zimmerman backs it out to the wing.
Brian Stratton, foul number 0, Tariq Roper.
Roper draws the foul. Roper commits the foul on Doolittle. Doolittle misses the first one. 2:15 left to play. Jalen Terrell checks back in. Ethan Sokolowski will head to the bench. Doolittle hits the second one to tie the ball game. 41-41. 2:10 left on the clock. Roper to Cook. Cook cuts down the lane. Back out to Reynolds. Reynolds steps behind the line, puts it up. Real long. Zimmerman grabs it. Diaz coming quickly the other way. Got Roper in front. Pulls up three. No good. Right back to Roper. Roper coming quickly the other way. Got Cook on the other end. Cook catches it. Goes to lay it up. Gets hammered and no foul. Zimmerman about ripped his head off. Eagles end up with the ball. They get Barnes with a foul on the other end on 33 Hughes. Can't believe there wasn't a foul called on Cook on the other end. He was the only guy on that side. Wendell Hughes was just trying to keep him from laying up an easy layup. Looked like he got a lot of arms. Cook wasn't even able to get the ball to the basket. Eagles inbound, get it to Doolittle down on the block. Doolittle working on Reynolds. Shots up, no good. Roper comes flying in to grab it. Here comes Roper the other way. Roper with the Cats. Gets it to Terrell. Terrell lays it in for two. 43-41. A minute 30 left to play. Bobcats on top. Cook picks up Zimmerman. Zimmerman works across the timeline, goes into the body of Cook. That's a charge. Zimmerman went right into him. Cook draws the charge. Bobcats will take over.
Clark State foul number 22, Brandon Zimmerman.
So Bobcats now one foul away from the bonus. Tariq Roper walks it up, 1:15 left on the clock. A couple of Eagles set to check in. Roper hands it to Barnes here near side. Barnes guarded by Wendell Hughes. Barnes down the lane, sends it back to Roper. Roper cuts, back to Terrell. Terrell to Reynolds. Reynolds back to Terrell. Good three-pointer by Jalen Barnes. Hughes brings it up. Barnes right on him. They're going to get Barnes for another foul. Sorry, that's Barnes' first foul. First foul on Jalen Barnes. That'll send Wendell Hughes to the line to shoot two. I'm sorry, to shoot 1-1. Eagles have made the bonus.
Wendell Hughes in the line shooting the 1-1 for the Eagles.
Daniel Harper checks in for, Albert Valderas checks in for the Eagles.
Number 21, Albert Valderas, is also checking in for Clark State.
Bobcats up 46-42. Cook comes down with the rebound. 36 seconds on the clock. Bobcats are going to try to go two baskets here. Gets it to Barnes. Barnes from the corner, from the elbow, from the wing. Got it! Barnes with another three! The kid can't miss. Doolittle up top, working on Terrell, goes all the way down the lane, tries to put it up and in, no good. Terrell comes down with the board. 12 on the clock, gets it to Roper. Roper on Valeras, back out to Barnes. Barnes for three, good! Jalen Barnes putting on a clinic here in the first half. Bobcats take a 10-point lead into the break, 52-42. What a first half of basketball for the Bobcats. Their most points scored in one half of basketball so far this season, led all the way by Jalen Barnes, who finishes with 25 points in the first half. 7 of 9 from three-point land, 9 of 12 total. Perry Fulham behind him with 11. Fulham in double digits already. Sokolowski, Terrell, and Larry Reynolds, both with a pair of two-pointers for 4 points apiece. Tariq Roper and Anthony Cook Jr. with a bucket apiece to round out the scoring. For the Eagles, Mauricio Diaz, 3 for 4 from three-point land. He was trying to keep pace there with Barnes for a while. All of his points coming from three-point land. He's got 9. Dale Bush has 7. Miles Burney and Sabian Doolittle with 6 apiece, Wendell Hughes with 5, Devin Alston with 4, Giovanni Roberts has 3, and Brandon Zimmerman has 2. Team-wise, the Eagles, 15 of 25 from the floor, shooting 60%. Bobcats, 21 of 41 for 51%. Three-point land, the Eagles are 6 of 8. That's good for 75%. The Bobcats, 8 of 20 for 40%. 7 of those three-pointers coming off the hand of Jalen Barnes. Bobcats 2 of 2 for free throws. Eagles 6 of 8. Problem right now for the Cats is rebounding. They're being out-rebounded 20-14 by the Eagles. That about wraps up the first half. We'll be back here in about 13 minutes for the second half of Bobcat basketball here on Cat TV. We're back here, second half. Bobcats go back to the starters, so do Clark State. Barnes on the floor, leading the game with 25 points. Fulham, Reynolds, Terrell, and Roper join him. Hughes, Alston. Nice block, Jalen Terrell. Here comes Larry Reynolds going the other way in a hurry. Gives it to Barnes. Barnes for three. No good. Stays with Clark State. On the floor for the Eagles, we got Bernie, Bush, Alston, Hughes, and Roberts. Roberts with the ball now here, near side wing. Gets it back to Bernie. Bernie back to Roberts, guarded by Roper. Hands it to Hughes. Hughes backing in Fulham. Roper fights for the ball. Hughes able to hold on. 9 left on the shot clock. Bernie for 3. Back iron, no good. Grabbed by Alston. Alston puts it back up and in. Bobcats moving quick. Back out to Roper. Roper gets it to Fulham, far side. Fulham for 3. Got it! Perry Fulham hits it from about 15 feet behind the arc. That one should be worth 4. Hughes at the timeline, guarded by Fulham. Hughes still with it. Roper comes to help. Gets it to Roberts. Roberts for 3. No good. Grabbed by Barney. Barney to Bush. Bush crossed the lane to Roberts. Roberts puts it up. Rebound grabbed by Roper. Roper sends it to Fulham. Fulham from the corner. Gets Bernie up in the air. Gets it to Roper. Roper finds Terrell under the basket for an easy 2. Good pass to Tariq Roper. Found Jalen Terrell standing on the block with nobody in front of him. He's able to lay it up for 2. Here's Roberts from the far side wing. No good. Rebounded by Barnes. Barnes coming quickly the other way. Got Roper with him. Roper goes up. Left hand. Can't get it to go, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Hughes whacked him. Caught a lot of Roper's head going after the ball on that one.
Clark State fouls number 33, Wendell Hughes. Tariq Roper at the line, shooting 2 for the Bobcats.
That'll be Hughes' second foul. First team foul here for Clark State in the second half. Roper's first one's up and good. He hits the second. Bobcats up 59-44. 17:45 left to go. Here's Hughes bringing it up, guarded by Fulham. Hughes backs in Fulham. Goes straight to the basket. A couple Bobcats whacked him. We'll see who the foul's on. I think it's going to be Terrell. No, they called it on Perry Fulham.
Brian Stratton fouls number 55, Perry Fulham.
That'll be Perry's second foul of the ball game. Second team foul on the first team foul on the Bobcats. Hughes misses the first one. Second one's up and good. Here come the Cats. They get Terrell on the block. Terrell back to Fulham. Fulham lays it up with the right hand. Gets it blocked. It goes out of bounds. Bobcats will keep possession down on the baseline. Bobcats coached by Dwayne Morrill, Kyle Jefferson, and Corey Milbert. Here's Reynolds for 3. Can't get it to drop. Terrell tosses it up in the air. Ball still up. Bush ends up with it. Gets it to Roberts. Roberts travels. Perry Fulham applies the pressure. He tries to go behind the back before he put the ball down and took a couple steps before he was able to hit the floor with it. Bobcats will get the ball back on their side of the court. We got a wet spot on the floor.
Checking in for Clark State is number 34, Matar Diop.
Matar Diop checks in for the Clark State Eagles. Roberts will take a seat. Clark State trying to get a little size in the ball game. Diop, their biggest boy. Roper, they found Roper inside. Sends it back out to Larry Reynolds, lost the handle on it, gets it back to Barnes. Barnes cuts the lane, pulls it up with the left hand, gets it to drop. Hughes brings the ball up, guarded by Roper. Reynolds picks him up. Burney goes to the basket, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot two. That foul's going to be on Jalen Terrell.
Jalen Terrell. Miles Burney in the line, shooting two for the Eagles.
Burney's first one's up and good. Next one's no good, grabbed by Terrell. Terrell gets it to Fulham. Fulham working up the far side. Guarded by Hughes. Roper on the far wing, gets it inside to Terrell. Terrell back out to Barnes. Barnes for three. Another one! The kid's got 30, 16 and a half left to play in the ball game. Picks the pocket, saves it, back out to Roper. Here's Fulham. Fulham off the tip. Back to Roper. Roper lays it up left hand and in. Bobcats up 66-46 as they've extended the 10-point lead. 10 more points here in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Timeout. Clark State will be back in 30. We're back ready to go here. Bobcats up 66-46, 16-24 left to play. Diaz checks back in the ball game. Harry Fulham's all over him. Diaz picks up the dribble. He's a little dead. Barney comes out to help out. Gets it picked by Larry Reynolds, able to grab it back from him. Tries to fight through a double team, gets fouled.
Brian Stratton fouls number 23, Larry Reynolds.
Alston will take it out. Doolittle's checked back into the ball game as well for Clark State. Diaz up top, guarded by Fulham. Over to Burney. Burney down to Doolittle. Doolittle working on Roper. Fights it up. Doesn't drop. Drops right there. Grabs the board. Tries to put it back up. Can't get it to fall, but he'll go to the line. Fouled by Reynolds, I believe. Nope, fouled by Terrell. So that'll be Terrell's third.
Brian Stratton fouls number 22, Jalen Terrell. Matar Diop on the line, shooting two for the Eagles.
Diop's first free throws of the day. Knocks down the first. And he hits the pair. Here come the Bobcats flying the other way. Perry Fulham's pass ahead to Jalen Terrell is a little bit too hard, a little bit too strong for him. It goes out of bounds. Terrell was open. He was able to handle that. He might have an easy layup, but it goes out of bounds. Hands the ball over to Clark State. Here's Diaz and Doolittle trying to work the ball across the line. They get it up to Diop. Nobody there. Barnes comes in on him. Diop able to work into the paint and lay it up for two. Perry Fulham working here near side. Picked up by Bernie. Thought about the pull-up three. Pulls it back out. Gets it to Barnes. Barnes from the elbow. Pulls it back out. Alston on him. Eagles working in a man D. Here's Reynolds with Diop on him. Outside. Reynolds goes right around him. Puts it up. Diop blocks it. Able to recover. Here's Diaz. Starts the fast break. Gets it to Alston, but Perry Fulham able to get back on D. Sends it to Bernie. Reynolds tries to block the shot, but ends up getting Bernie. Instead, Bernie will go to the line to shoot two. Basket's no good.
Brian Stratton fouls number 23, Larry Reynolds. Miles Bernie shooting two for the Eagles.
Bernie's first free throw's no good. Diop grabs the board, missed the free throw. Larry Reynolds pokes it away. Jalen Terrell picks it up. Ball's batted in the air. Reynolds grabs it, finds Roper in the corner. Roper for three. It's good! Roper hits another one from the corner. The Bobcats continue to shoot the lights out from behind the arc. Here's Diop in the corner. Terrell's on him. Takes a swat at the ball, not able to knock it out. Diop loses the ball. Reynolds has it, throws it ahead to Roper. Roper, one dribble, puts it up. That's going to be goaltending on Barney. Shot counts. It was up on the rim. Good look by Larry Reynolds. Perfect feed. Roper had to put it on the ground one time before going up with the right hand. Todd James is going to check in for Larry Reynolds. The Bobcats trying to match the size of Clark State right now with Diop on the floor. James, another one of those athletic big men the Bobcat like to work with. Dale Bush will check back in for Diop. Ball's inbounded to Diaz. Diaz with Fulham all over him. Able to get it across the timeline. Here's Bush on the outside with Jalen Terrell on top of him. Bush cuts around, lays it up with the right hand, gets it to drop and the foul. A lot of body contact there. Good move by Dale Bush to get around the hips of Jalen Terrell and just ride him all the way to the basket. Able to lay it up and in with the left hand. Bush will go to the line. Sokolowski will come in for Jalen Terrell. Terrell with 4 fouls now in the ball game. So we can see a lot more of Sokolowski here near the end. Bush's free throws up and in. James takes it out, gets it to Perry Fulham. Fulham brings it up far side, guarded by Barney. Fulham sets up the offense. Finds Barnes on the outside, guarded by Alston. Barnes goes around the pick, pulls up, can't get it to drop. Rebounded Zimmerman. Zimmerman back out to Diaz. Diaz with Fulham right on him. Bobcats still running that man defense that they like to run. Lots of face guarding. Lots of pressure. Trying to force turnovers. Alston working on Barnes. Back out to Bush. Bush with Sokolowski all over him. Bush picks up his dribble. Sokolowski attacks. Bernie has the ball. Todd James. Under 10 left to go. Ball never hit the...
Checking in for Clark State is number 22, Brandon Zimmerman.
I think we need the trainer down here. Somebody's got a poked eye or a bloody nose. They put 2 seconds on the shot clock. That ball never hit the rim before it went out of bounds. Sabian Doolittle comes back in for the injured Eagle. Doolittle finds Diaz. Didn't get it off. No good. Shot clock violation. Clark State's unhappy. Shot was no good anyway. Harry Fulham brings the ball up. 13:25 left to play in the ball game. Bobcats up 71-53. Tariq Roper takes one dribble in, pulls up, knocks it down. That'll put Roper in double digits. He's got 13 now. Todd James on Doolittle. Bernie able to put it up and in over top Sokolowski.
Basketball, Miles Bernie.
Another Eagle down, but it looks like he's okay. That was Bush. Bush seems to be all right. Thinks he may have got poked in the eye. Fulham for three, no good. Sokolowski fighting for a rebound. Dale Bush able to grab it. They got Sokolowski over the back with another foul.
Brian Stratton fouls on number 11, Ethan Sokolowski.
Eagles in the bonus already. 12:30 left to play. Dale Bush will go to the line to shoot two.
Dale Bush at the line, shooting two for the Eagles.
I'm sorry, 1-1. 1-1 here for Bush. Bush's shot's up and good. 73-56 now. Bobcats over Eagles. Bush knocks them both down. Todd James inbounds to Jalen Barnes. Barnes with Bernie on him. Barnes sets up the offense. Roper back to Barnes. Barnes finds Fulham. Fulham working on Zimmerman. That foul will be on Zimmerman.
Number 22, Brandon Zimmerman.
Bobcats will have it on the baseline. Barnes cuts. Roper goes out, but the ball is intercepted by Diaz. Diaz waits for the offense to get there. That'll be goaltending on Todd James. Ball was still in the cylinder when James got a piece of it, so the basket will count. Fulham gets it up to Roper. Roper with Diaz on him. Far side wing. James picks, rolls. Travels. Another Bobcat turnover. Good roll by James. Roper found him. Just not able to do anything with it. Moved his feet before he put the ball on the floor. Anthony Cook Jr. and Larry Reynolds will check back in for Todd James and Ethan Sokolowski. Zimmerman with Roper on him. Back out to Diaz. Diaz covered by Fulham. Diaz picks up his dribble. Fulham's all over him. Zimmerman has the ball now. Ball stolen by Anthony Cook Jr. Cook Jr. working one man to beat. Spins. Tries to throw it up. Lost control. Zimmerman able to grab it. Zimmerman throws it down the floor. Barnes grabs it. Here come the Bobcats going the other way. Sent up to Larry Reynolds. Reynolds to Roper in the corner. Roper for three. Got it! Roper with another three-pointer from the far side corner. He's just about automatic from over there. Another long pass cross court. Cook Jr. thought he had it. Diaz caught it. Gets it to Bush. Bush tries to feed Bernie down on the block. Somehow that ball made it to him through two Bobcats. He lays it in for two. Perry Fulham slows the ball down a little bit, coming back the other way. Sets up the Bobcat offense. Just under 11 to go. Bobcats up 15, 76-61. They get the ball to Reynolds. Out on the wing. Reynolds cuts down the lane. Puts it up, and it's good!
Larry Reynolds in the foul.
Reynolds with a tough two. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line looking for three the hard way.
Shooting one.
Reynolds banks open. Reynolds banks in the free throw. Bobcats up 79-61. Bernie brings it up, guarded by Barnes, doubled by Roper. Ball gets away. Barnes has it. Another steal. Back to Cook. Cook puts it up. Basket's good. The Bobcat lead back out to 20, just like that. They lead 81-61, 10:25 left to play in the ball game. For the Bobcats, Jalen Barnes still leading the way with 30 points, 8 of 11 from three-point land. Tariq Roper behind him now with 16. Roper with 16 points and 8 assists in this ball game. He's well on his way to his first double-double of the season. Perry Fulham has 14. For the Eagles, Miles Burney has 13 points. Dale Bush has 12, and Mauricio Diaz with 9. Clark State will have the ball after the timeout.
Substitutions for Clark State. Number 3, Giovanni Roberts. Number 10, Devin Houston. And number 34, Retardea.
Jalen Barnes, face guarding Bernie. Bernie able to get around him down the sideline. Doubled by Roper. Fights through it, back to Zimmerman. Zimmerman up top, sends it to Alston in the corner. Alston for two. Can't get it to drop. Cook Jr. pulls down the rebound. Finds Barnes. Barnes gets whacked by Zimmerman. That'll be just the third team foul on the Eagles.
Number 22, Brandon Zimmerman. Checking in for Clark State is number 33, Wendell Hughes.
Hughes comes back in for the Eagles. Zimmerman will take a seat. Perry Fulham takes the inbound pass in the backcourt. He's guarded by Alston, sets up an offense. Bobcats not trying to go too quick now, try to run a little clock. Larry Reynolds takes over up top. Matar Jop on him. Reynolds goes down the lane, fouled on the way down. We'll look to see that a little bit more often with this squad out there.
Reynolds in line, shooting 2 for the Bobcats.
Reynolds, the tallest man on the floor for the Bobcats, but plays like a guard. He's played guard most of his time here at Bryant Stratton. Has a step or two on the bigger bodied Diop. We'll see if they continue to try to get Reynolds out there in isolation on Diop, see if he can just take him to the basket. Reynolds misses the first one. Here's the second. That one's good. Ball inbound to 33, Wendell Hughes, guarded by Barnes. Puts a forearm into the chest of Barnes. Barnes draws the charging foul.
Clark State fouls number 33, Wendell Hughes.
That's 16 fouls now on the Eagles, so the Bobcats 1 away from shooting from free throws. Ball's inbounded to Perry Fulham. Perry sets up the offense. Sends it to Tariq. Tariq gives it right back. Reverses out the other way. Barnes cuts to the top, guarded by Roberts. Barnes cuts down the lane, right hand, loses the handle, gets it back. Jop ends up with it. Gets it to Alston. Alston pushes the ball to Hughes. Hughes lays it in with the left hand, and it's good for 2 for the Eagles. Eagles supplying some pressure now here in the backcourt, put on a press. Perry clears him out, takes Hughes by himself. Gets the ball across the timeline, sets up the offense. Roper comes out, gets it back to Barnes up top. Barnes, good move on Austin, sends it to Perry Fulham over here near side wing. Fulham cuts down the lane. Step back, no good. Sends it about to Barnes. Barnes for three, can't get it to drop. Right back to Larry Reynolds. Shot clock will reset. Reynolds, bad pass, picked off by Bernie. Bernie goes up, slams it home, and that's an easy two. Just a soft pass to the top by Larry Reynolds, and it's picked off easily by Bernie, who takes it to the other side and slams it home. Perry Fulham, guarded by Alston. Hands it to Barnes. Barnes up top. Good move behind the back, sends it to Reynolds. Reynolds steps back behind the line, but he traveled. Didn't reset his feet, caught it and took a step back.
Brian Stratton, number 5. Carlos Castro.
Carlos Castro comes onto the floor now for Tariq Roper. Hughes, guarded by Jalen Barnes. 8:20 left to play. Bobcats up, 82-65. Ball inbounded to Diop. Back to Bernie up top. Back to Hughes. Hughes doubled by Castro and Fulham. Gets it back to Bernie. Bernie goes to the basket. Blocking foul called on Jalen Barnes. And Bernie will go to the line to shoot two.
Bobcat foul is number 1, Jalen Barnes. Miles Bernie at the line, shooting 2 for the Eagles.
Bernie knocks down the first one. Next free throw is off the mark. Larry Reynolds pulls it down, gets it back to Barnes quickly. Barnes working on Diop, sent to cross court, picked off by Alston. Coming back the other way, ball's to Bernie. Bernie running the floor, gets it to Roberts. Roberts goes up with the right hand and lays it in for a quick two. Bobcats need a basket here. Ball's inbounded to Carlos Castro. Castro gets pushed by Alston, no foul. Anthony Cook out in the corner. Back to Larry Reynolds. Reynolds up top. Pull-up jumper. No good. Rebounded by Wendell Hughes. Hughes harassed in the backcourt by Reynolds and Barnes. Sends it to Diop. Diop back to Bernie, and Bernie slams it home. Just like that, the lead's down to 12 now. Bobcats coming quick the other way. Coach Morrow wants a timeout. Barnes is like, I was on a roll. Pulled up in the paint for the two-pointer, but it won't count. Timeout was called first. Bobcats up 82-70. Clark State on a little bit of a run here. Clark State on a 10-point run here over the last 2 minutes of play or so, minute and a half of play. Bobcats will have the ball on the baseline coming out of the break. Barnes gets it out on the wing, guarded by Hughes. Pulls the ball out, sets up the offense. Gets it to Perry out on the wing. Back to Barnes up top, inside to Reynolds. Reynolds to Castro outside. Back inside to Reynolds. Reynolds making moves on Dot. Puts it up with the right hand, can't get it to fall. Rebound pulled down by Zimmerman. Outside to Hughes. Hughes for three. No good. Ball rebounded by Reynolds. Reynolds has Barnes down the floor. Intercepted by Hughes. Hughes gets wrapped up by Anthony Cook Jr. And that's going to send Hughes to the line to shoot 2. I'm sorry, still in the 1-1. Hughes will go to the line to shoot 1-1 now.
Wendell Hughes on the line.
Terrell and Roper will come back in. Cook Jr. and Barnes will take a seat. Hughes gets the first one to roll in. Bobcats still up, 82-71, 6.5 left to go. Second one's in as well. Terrell takes the ball out. Eagles apply some pressure. Ball inbounded to Perry Fulham. Fulham working on Hughes. Bobcats clear out. Fulham gets it across the timeline. Hughes still on him. Roper in the corner. Dribbles up to the wing. Pulls it out, sets up an offense. 12 on the shot clock. Calls for a pick. Terrell obliges. Reynolds from the corner, pulls it back down, 4 on the clock. Reynolds puts it up with the right hand and gets it to go. Good move by Larry Reynolds for the 2-point basket. Doolittle brings it up, guarded by Reynolds. Roberts from the top. Pulls up a little short. Ball grabbed by Jop underneath. Traveled, moved his feet. Perry Fulham was able to get a hand on the ball and keep him from going right back up with it. Jop had to reset and shuffle the feet. Ball's inbounded and stolen immediately by Alston. Alston to Hughes. Hughes through the lane. Back to Alston. Alston puts it up with the right hand. No good. Ball will go out of bounds and goes back over to the Bobcats. So Bobcats, a little bit of sloppy play there. The inbound pass just not strong enough to get through the Eagles' press. There they go. They get it to Reynolds. Reynolds coming hard down the floor. Full head of steam. Sends it to Terrell. Terrell puts it up and in! Terrell will go to the line to shoot one more for the Bobcats.
Clark State fouls number 34, Natar Dia. Jalen Terrell on the line, shooting 1 for the Bobcats.
Terrell knocks down the free throw. Bobcat lead back up to 15. 87-72, 5.5 left to go. Hughes with the ball, brings it across the timeline. Perry Fulham's on him. Doolittle with it now. Dribbles back to the top of the key. Tries to get Alston on a cut. Send it inside to Jop. Jop puts the ball on the floor. Castro's all over him. Ball sent back out to Alston. Alston dribbles in, pulls up for the jumper. Can't get it to drop. Larry Reynolds on the breakaway. Finds Roper out on the wing. Roper will just dribble it back up top and set up an offense for the Bobcats. Good decision there by Roper. Let's not push it, run a little clock. Bobcats still leading by 15. Carlos Castro out on the wing, guarded by Hughes. Sends it up top to Perry Fulham. 10 on the shot clock. Perry Fulham cuts the lane. Puts up the floater right hand. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Alston. Alston sends it to Hughes. Hughes to Roberts. Castro got a piece of it. It'll stick with the Eagles.
Checking in for Clark State is number 4, Miles Burney.
Burney comes back in. Alston will take a seat. They just flip the ball into Diop over the head of everybody. Diop goes around Jalen Terrell, lays it in with the right hand. Timeout, Clark State.
Timeout, Clark State.
Looks like Jalen Barnes is going to check back in for the Cats. Barnes has been slowed down a little bit here in this second half. Only 5 points after 25 in the first, but Tariq Roper has stepped up for the Bobcats and put the ball in the hoop a couple times. He's up to 16 now. Perry Fulham right behind him with 14, and Larry Reynolds has 10 points. He's got 8 here in the second half. Reynolds working with 10 points and 7 boards. Wendell Hughes is in double digits now for the Clark State Eagles. He's got 10 points. Dale Bush with 12. Miles Burney leading the way with 18. The women's team will be playing just after the men finish up, about 20 minutes later, in this OCCAC co-ed doubleheader. Ladies took care of business this Wednesday as well against Lorain Community College, but the women's team for Lorain Community has dropped down to the club level this year, so they're still looking for their first conference game. Tonight will be their opener for OCCAC play. Ball's inbounded to Larry Reynolds. He gives it right back to Perry Fulham. Fulham will bring the ball up against Hughes. Kind of a soft press by the Eagles once the ball is inbounded. They kind of head back to defense. Ball's sent in the middle to Carlos Castro. Castro on Hughes, cuts the lane, sends it to Reynolds. Reynolds up top, pulls up from the free throw line, gets it to go for 2. So Reynolds has a dozen now, 10 here in the second half. Hughes gets around Castro to get it across the timeline. Ball sent to Diop on the outside. Reynolds on top of him. Back to Hughes. Carlos Castro trying to make his life a little more difficult. Roberts with a good cut. Hughes not able to find him. Burney on the far corner. On the far wing. Gives it back to Roberts. Down into Diop. Diop to the bucket. Up and in. Right as the shot clock expired. Long offensive possessions for the Eagles is okay in the Bobcats' mind right now. They want to take all 30 seconds. That's cool with them. Bobcats still up 89-76 here with 3.5 to go. Carlos Castro with the ball, finds Perry Fulham on the outside. Fulham works over the screen from Castro, guarded by Burney. A little bit too much contact. That'll be a foul on Burney.
Clark State foul is number 4, Miles Burney.
Perry Fulham will go to the line to shoot 1-and-1 for the Bobcats.
Checking in for Clark State is number 44, Dale Bush.
Free throws way skewed over to the Clark State Eagles so far in this ball game. 16 of 23 from the free throw line for 69%. Bobcats only 8 chances at the line, make that 9. They're 8 of 9 now from the free throw line. Shooting the ball very well once again from the free throw line. Perry's second one will not fall. Rolled around up there for a while, but fell off the outside. Ball sent to Burney, wide open, out on the wing. Nobody guarding him. Reynolds takes it out, gives it to Terrell. Terrell loses the handle for a second, gets it back to Roper. Roper working on Burney. Gets it across the timeline, gives it back to Perry Fulham. Under 3 to go. Bobcats up 90-78. Hughes on Fulham. Jalen Barnes set to check back in for the Bobcats. Fulham goes down the lane, flips it to Terrell. Terrell can't handle it, able to grab it and put it back in for 2. Good recovery by Jalen Terrell. Loses the handle on it, able to grab it again and get it back up anyway. Hughes gets around Fulham, gets down in the paint. Hughes just throws it out of bounds. There's nobody there.
Jalen Barnes checking in for the Bobcats.
Barnes checks back in. Perry Fulham takes a seat. 2:30 to go. Bobcats lead 92-78 over the Clark State Eagles.
For 12, Mauricio Diaz.
Mauricio Diaz comes back in for the Eagles. Wendell Hughes will take a seat. Ball's inbounded to Tariq Roper. Diaz on him in the backcourt. Roper across the timeline. They get it to Barnes up top. Barnes guarded by Burney. Carlos Castro cuts. Burney gets a piece of it. Balls to Castro. Castro down the lane. 6 to go. Gets it to Larry Reynolds. Reynolds fights through a foul, or fights through some arms to get the ball up to the hoop. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Clark State fouls number 24, Sabian Doolittle. Larry Reynolds in line shooting for the Bobcats.
Reynolds at the line shooting 2. First one's up and rims out. Second one's good. Mauricio Diaz brings the ball up, working on Carlos Castro. A little bit of urgency now out of the Eagles. Diaz from behind the arc, pulls up, gets it to go.
3-point basket. Mauricio
Diaz has 12 points, all of them on 3-point baskets. Larry Reynolds runs the floor and jams it home! That's one way to break a press. Find Reynolds on a breakaway and let him jam it. Diaz working on Roper. Here's Roberts with the ball now. Reynolds got a hand in there. Roberts able to recover. Lays it up with the right hand, fading away. Jalen Terrell grabs the rebound. Jalen Barnes is going to slow the ball down a little bit now. As the Bobcats look to work a little clock. 1:15 left to go. They lead 95-81. Roberts comes out to guard Barnes. Gets a piece of the ball. Barnes able to recover. 10 to go on the shot clock. Barnes trying to set up an isolation. Cuts down the lane. Step back. Jumper. Back iron no good. Rebounded Bernie. Clark State coming the other way. Ball gets tipped, but it's a foul. Bernie will go to the line to shoot 2 for the Eagles. They're in the double bonus.
Bobcat fouls number 23, Larry Reynolds. Miles Bernie at the line, shooting 2 for the Eagles. Checking in for Brian Stratton is number 21, Daniel Harper, and number 25, Todd James.
Daniel Harper and Todd James enter the ball game for the Bobcats. Harper had a wristband on and tried to throw it off the court, but it made it to about right in the middle of center court. Bernie knocks down the second one. 95-83. Bryant and Stratton lead. Barnes breaks the press, trying to draw a foul on Bernie, going into the body. Nothing called. Under a minute now, 41 left on the clock. Barnes just going to dribble out the clock a little bit. See if he makes a move once we get to 10. Here he goes. Cuts the lane, tries to find Harper, draws the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Clark State foul, number 4, Miles Bernie.
As mentioned, the ladies will be playing next. Give us about 20 minutes at the completion of this ball game. If you'd like to watch that game as well, you'll have to click out of this feed and just go back to our YouTube channel.
Checking in for Clark State,
Cat TV, BSCOH. About 5 minutes after this game finishes up, we'll have the this one finalized and the ladies started. Just click on that game and you can watch them as well. As mentioned, I'm Ryan Bliss, SID at Bryant and Stratton. If you like the feed, give us a like under the video. Feel free to share the link to the women's game with any of your friends that might want to watch as well. Barnes misses a pair. That's unlike him. We usually see him shooting about over 90% from the free throw line right now. Out to Bush. Bush's ball. The shot was tipped. Number 12, Glenn Dalby, got a piece of that one. Jalen Barnes going to dribble the clock out now. Shot clock's turned off, 10 seconds left. The Bobcats are going to win this one, 95-83. Leading the way for the Cats was the man dribbling the ball out. Number 1, Jalen Barnes, once again leads the Bobcats in scoring. Give him 50-plus on the week, as he led the team in scoring against LC as well earlier this week. He finishes tonight with 30 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Tariq Roper behind him with 16 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. Larry Reynolds finished with 15 points, 7 boards. Perry Fulham had 15 points, 2 assists. Jalen Terrell, 11 points, 4 boards. Ethan Sokolowski had 2 baskets, 4 points. Anthony Cook Jr. had 4. And that rounds out the scoring for the Bobcats. For the Eagles, leading the way was Miles Bernie with 22. He had 22 points, 5 rebounds. He was 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Mauricio Diaz had 12, all of them coming from behind the arc. He was 4 of 5 from three-point land. Dale Bush had 12. Wendell Hughes had 10. Matar Diop had 8 and 3 rebounds. Devin Alston had 6 and 7 rebounds. Savion Doolittle had 6 points. Giovanni Roberts had 5 points, and Brandon Zimmerman rounded out the scoring with a bucket. Team-wise, Bobcats win 95-83. They shoot 54% from the field, 37-68. 43% from three-point land, 12 of 28. And only 64% from the free throw line, 9 of 14. They scored 32 points off of turnovers, so that swarming man-to-man Bobcat defense was once again able to get the job done for them. They had 29 rebounds and compared to 36 boards from Clark State. Bobcats had 18 assists to Clark State's 8. Evenly matched the rest of the way through. That'll do it for the Bobcats here tonight. They take care of business against the Clark State Eagles to go to 2-0 in the OCCAC. Their record now 3-3 on the season. Women coming up next when we come back here in about 15 minutes here on Cat TV.